Have you ever had a moment in life when you thought, why did this happen to me? When everything felt wrong, but later you realized that the same thing became the biggest blessing for you. Today I'm going to tell you a story about a king and his minister. A story that will make you believe that whatever happens, happens for some good reason. So listen carefully, because this story can change the way you look at life. Once upon a time, there was a kind-hearted, just and wise king who ruled over a prosperous kingdom. His people loved him deeply because he not only ruled with fairness, but also felt the pain of others. Gold sparkled in his palace, joy danced in the markets, but inside the king's heart lived a grateful soul. His minister was also a loyal, good and wise man. Their bond was like that of a teacher and student. The king trusted him completely, and the minister always taught him the lessons of patience, faith, and gratitude. One day, the king was sitting in the palace garden, cutting a fresh red apple. The sunlight was soft, the air was full of fragrance. Everything felt peaceful. But suddenly, the knife slipped from his hand and blood began to flow from his finger. The king groaned in pain and held his hand tightly, while the servants ran in panic. At that moment, the minister also arrived. He quickly tied a cloth around the wound and said gently, "Your Majesty, please don't worry. Whatever happens, happens for some good reason. Maybe God has hidden some wisdom even in this wound." The king didn't like these words at all. He shouted angrily, "You can see goodness even in my pain? Maybe I should throw you in prison." The minister smiled, bowed, and softly replied, "Your Majesty, even then I will say, whatever happens, happens for good." At the king's signal, the guards took the minister away and locked him in the prison. The next day, the king decided to go hunting. He was still angry, so he refused to take the minister or any guards with him. He rode his horse alone and entered the deep forest. Birds were singing, deer were running. The king was focused on his aim. But as time passed, he lost his way in the middle of the jungle. Slowly, the sun began to set, and at that moment, a group of tribal warriors surrounded him. They belonged to a wild tribe that offered human sacrifices to please their gods. They caught the king and took him before their chief. The chief loudly announced, "This stranger will be sacrificed before the gods." The color drained from the king's face. He tried to escape, but the warriors tied him to a tree. A big fire was being prepared, and the priest began to chant strange prayers. Then suddenly, the priest noticed the bandage on the king's finger. He looked carefully, then turned to the chief and said, "This sacrifice cannot be accepted. The gods only accept sacrifices of people who are perfect and uninjured. His finger is wounded. He is impure." The chief immediately ordered his men to release the king. The king was shocked. His legs trembled, but his heart was full of gratitude. He left the forest quickly and rode back to his palace. As soon as he arrived, he went straight to the prison. When he saw the minister, his eyes filled with emotion. "Minister, you are right. Whatever happens, happens for good. My finger's wound saved my life. If that injury had not happened, I wouldn't be alive today." The minister smiled and said, "Your Majesty, God's wisdom is always beyond our understanding. But may I say one more thing?" The king asked in surprise. "What is it?" The minister replied, "If I hadn't been in prison, I would have gone hunting with you. And since I had no wound on my body, they would have sacrificed me instead of you. So, Your Majesty, even my imprisonment was actually good for me." The king remained silent for a while, then softly said, "Truly, a person cannot see how at every turn of life God's hidden blessings are protecting him. This story teaches us that whatever happens in life happens for a good reason. Sometimes things go against our wishes, sometimes the path seems hard, but in every situation there is always some hidden goodness. If we hold on to patience, faith, and gratitude, then with time, the same pain and obstacles become the steps to our success. True wisdom is to trust destiny. Look for goodness even in difficulties, and always be thankful for God's plans, because the one who keeps faith and patience will finally find comfort even in pain. Whatever happens, happens for good. Trust God's wisdom, for He sees what we cannot see. That was today's story. Now tell me, what did you learn from this story? Write your answer in the comments. I'll be waiting to read your thoughts. And yes, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share Tales by Manis. Thank you for being a part of this journey.